Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So, Manchester United have been linked to many players over this last couple of weeks. I thought I'd have a look at three of them today, who I think genuinely could be very beneficial for us to bring in. Some will help strengthen the starting 11, some will help add quality depth and challenge players already starting. And yeah, three players who I definitely think are worth having a look at. So let's just get into it. Okay, so looking at the stats beside me, of course, Manchester United 12 league games, 7 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. We have scored 17 and we have conceded 16, so we need players to address those numbers. Fundamentally, we need more defensive reinforcements and we need more goals. So I've looked at 3 players today who will help us shore up the backline more, help us concede even less chances, even less goals, and I've looked at a forward who I think can add goals into our team. So let's get into this here. So the first player up is going to be Cody Gakpo from PSV. So Manchester United predominantly have lined up with this attacking quartet, as you will. So Bruno Fernandes has played a 10 almost exclusively. We have seen Antony deployed heavily off the right, Jadon Sancho off the left, and Marcus Rashford through the middle. Now Rashford currently has 7 goals this season, 3 assists. He's doing well, but something that I think is very interesting is Erik ten Hag has been deploying Marcus Rashford through the middle. So this would indicate to me that he isn't happy with his forward options going through the middle, and this has left a gap on the left where Jadon Sancho has been playing. Sancho hasn't been playing particularly well this season. His performances have been very within himself, and it is a cause of concern. It is something that's weakening our forward options because after Jadon Sancho, we haven't had Anthony Martial to play, and Ronaldo has been in and out of form. So with Sancho dropping out of form, we've had to see Elanga play, we've seen Garnacho play, who for what they are good squad players. Garnacho, has great potential, but he's not ready yet. Cody Gakpo is ready. Cody Gakpo is putting up phenomenal numbers, and he could slot in right on that left-hand side. I think Gakpo, at his size, with his physicality, his speed and his agility, and as well as his ability to bring players into play, could be a really good option through the middle. I think alternatively, if Erik ten Hag wants Marcus Rashford through the middle, if that's where he sees him operating best, then we could see Gakpo deployed off the left, and it could be a very attacking, very exciting trio with Antony, Rashford and Gakpo, or perhaps we could see Gakpo through the middle. So yeah, Cody Gakpo having an absolutely fantastic season so far at PSV. He's putting up numbers akin to Lionel Messi, Erling Haaland, absolutely sensational. And as well, the rumoured price is absolutely amazing for Cody Gakpo and the numbers he's putting up. So apparently, several reports have come out this week. They've said Cody Gakpo could be available for as little as €30 million, so around £25 million. At that price, that is an absolute no-brainer. We should have had a go in the summer at him, I felt. There was talk of him being available for about 20 million. I thought he definitely would have been worth the risk, worth the punt, and even if he didn't work out, for that price, it would have been a calculated risk that had enough upside that it would have made a lot of sense. I think at the price that's being touted at 25 million for the numbers he's putting up, it's an absolute no-brainer. He's absolutely tearing it up in the Dutch league. We're going to see him explode at the World Cup. He'll definitely be one of the Netherlands' most important attacking players in the World Cup, and I certainly expect his price tag to rise again after the World Cup. But with PSV facing financial difficulty, this could be a really smart move. I did read online as well, Cody Gakpo is represented by the same agency as Erik ten Hag, so this really could be a deal we could get done very quickly if we have the right motivation, if we have the right support in the January transfer window. Of course, it all comes down to Richard Arnold, John Murda. Manchester United last year had the chance to sign Julian Alvarez in the January transfer window. They declined. They could have had Benjamin Sesko. They declined. There was talk as well for several other players. I mean, Ralph Rangnick must have put forward a list of maybe 10 players who we could have bought and should have bought last January, and Kunku as well was on that list. So we need to break that mould of not strengthening through the season. We can't just pan this off to summer. We can't just say it'll be alright, because somebody else will come in January, show the ambition, and they will get Cody Gakpo. So if we want him, and I think he'd be an absolutely superb addition to our side, then we have to go get him in January, and no excuses to be made. So the next player I think Manchester United need to be looking at bringing in certainly is going to be another right back. It's an area we are sorely lacking in. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been non-existent this season. 9 minutes of football all year for him. We've barely seen Brandon Williams play, so I think a right back is absolutely essential. When looking at our team, of course, it's been Diogo Dalot. He's been absolutely great this season, but he can't do it all by himself. Luke Shaw has massively benefited by having Tyrell Malacia, giving him competition. Malacia has played and started over Luke Shaw. It has pushed Luke Shaw's game up to another level. It allows us to rotate, it allows us to rest, and that's certainly something that's going to be very important. So I think certainly a right back should be on the top of the agenda for new signings, and this is the right back I think of Manchester United should be looking at. So yeah, it's Jeremie Frimpong, a former Manchester City youth player, went to Celtic, was very good there, did well in the Scottish League, and he's gone to the Bundesliga and he's smashing it. Frimpong predominantly plays as a right wing back for Bayer Leverkusen and for the Dutch national team, but he certainly is more than capable of filling in at right back. We can see this season 15 appearances, 5 goals from right wing back, really good attacking output. He's kept a couple of clean sheets as well, but Bayer Leverkusen have been conceding goals. Passing 27 passes per game, it's not the best, but Bayer Leverkusen aren't a team that build up through the fullbacks to the extent Manchester United do. We can see a lot of tackles as well, 1.7 per game, and averaging 0.9 interceptions per game. Jeremie Frimpong certainly is a player who has a lot of potential ahead of him. He's a player who could be very good for Manchester United, and again available for a very reasonable fee of around £25 million. So yeah, he would be a very good backup and competition to Diogo Dalot. You don't just want players to be there just to rotate. You want players who can really push on and challenge for first team places. It's not just we need to rest players, it's that we need competition. That's something all the great Manchester United sides had, was competition. We can see the benefit of proper competition for Luke Shaw. Tyrell Malacia certainly has been very good at Manchester United for how much we paid for him. And yeah, I mean, Frimpong could come in and do that role very, very well. The only concern I would have about Frimpong is he is quite aerially weak. Certainly in the Premier League, that is something to take into consideration. We've seen against West Ham the importance of the right back defending the far post from crosses coming down the right hand side. Diogo Dalot had an awful lot of headed clearances, very important headed clearances late in the match, which helped us hold on to the point. It's a real weak point of Aaron Wan-Bissaka's game is his back post defending and his awareness of what's around him, players coming in behind him, and that's something that is a little bit weak in Frimpong's game, but it is something he can work on. The guy's 21 with a bit more positional awareness, a bit more defensive awareness. I'm sure he could be an absolutely fantastic right back. Erik tenhag, as we know, is a great coach. He's a very, very good coaching setup. Mitchell van der Gaag is a real specialist in defensive actions and defensive coaching. He certainly could be able to coach positional awareness, defensive awareness, and spatial awareness into Frimpong's game. But certainly going forward, he's a very good option. And as with all things, no player is perfect. Every player has strength, every player has weaknesses. What it always comes down to is do the strengths outweigh the weaknesses. Frimpong's great attacking output, his great 1v1 defending, his recovery pace is exceptional, and it's whether that outweighs the negative of his aerial ability. But if it does, certainly he is a player to be looking at. I think he definitely could be a good option for us. He will help us strengthen the squad. Obviously, if it goes up to me, I would love to see Ethan Laird given the opportunity. I think Laird's fantastic, but with Ethan Laird, it is always injuries, and his fitness is the only thing that can hold him back, because the potential is there. But I think Frimpong could be a very smart acquisition, available for around £25-30 million. Would be a very good player to bring in. It could make Donny Arons very happy as well, so that's something else. But certainly could be a very good shout for Manchester United. Yes, so the final position I think Manchester United need to strengthen is centre-back. At the minute, Raphael Varane is injured, Victor Lindelof is ill, so it has been Harry Maguire playing. I think whenever we lose Varane, we're stuck with Lindelof and Maguire, who we know aren't good enough. Lisandro Martinez is a great partnership with Raphael Varane, but Rafael Varane's fitness is the only thing that limits the effects of that partnership. We know we can't really rely upon Rafael Varane to be fit across the whole season, so I think certainly that another centre back capable of coming in when Varane is injured, pushing for Varane's space, is certainly something that we need to be looking at. And I think the player in mind who we should be looking at is Kim Minjae. Absolutely fantastic for Napoli this season, age 25, 16 appearances, 2 goals as well. Very dominant in the air. He's a threat from set pieces, 6 clean sheets as well. Really good. Napoli have been very, very good this season, and he has been one of the main reasons. Came in, obviously Koulibaly left in the summer, but they have strengthened in defence. And as a team as well, Napoli are a lot better than what they were for this last couple of seasons. They're really going to push this season for Serie A. They're doing very well in the Champions League this season, and this guy's a big part of it. What gets me excited when looking at this guy is certainly his passing. He's putting 70 passes per game on average, with a pass accuracy of 89%, which is really good. So much of our play comes through Lisandro Martinez. We build up through Lisandro Martinez so much. And Casemiro, having another centre back in there who can put up similar numbers to Martinez in terms of passing, is going to be so useful for tenhag's system. We've seen against West Ham. West Ham went with Scamacca and they went with Downs, so they cut off the passes between Martinez and Casemiro, which acted as our typical build up for the season. So certainly if we bring in another pass-minded centre back, it could be a really big benefit. Obviously as well, Kim has 1.9 tackles per game, 1.2 interceptions as well. He plays in the Highline team. He's quick, he's strong, he's athletic, he's a real leader, and he is very, very talented on the ball. He certainly would be a very good option to bring in, and he's one that I would look to bring in. I mean, absolutely fantastic numbers. We see it every week in the Champions League from this guy. Absolutely great. We'll see it again tonight against Liverpool. I am backing Napoli in that match, and I think that Kim will certainly have a very good match if he does play. And yeah, I mean, he's certainly been one of the best defenders in Serie A, and he's a player who definitely would upgrade us in terms of our depth. He certainly could push for Varane's space. Varane is pushing on a bit. He is starting to pick up injuries. So having somebody like Kim to come in when Varane is injured, push for Varane's place as well, nothing but a good thing. Really need to upgrade our depth in our squad. We have depth, but don't have quality depth. This guy provides quality depth and a challenge to our current centre backs, which is exactly what we need. We need healthy competition, and certainly Kim can provide it. So yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the video today. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow with our preview for the very important Europa League match against Real Sociedad. Chance to top the group and go straight into the round of 16. It's something not to be sniffed at. It's something we need to be actively trying to achieve. We have to go to Sociedad and win 2-0, or win by 2 goals really. So if we can do that, I'll be very, very happy. And yeah, we'll see you for the preview for it tomorrow. Of course, there'll be a review as well. Just keep your eyes out for those videos dropping. And yeah, guys, just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of the players. Who would you bring anybody else in? Is there anybody else you want me to look at? I can do any player at all. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.